The most annoying aspect of recycling, and one of the biggest hurdles to its widespread adoption, is having to separate paper, glass, and plastic before they hit the curb. New recycling machines are changing that. With single-stream recycling, recyclables go into one bin, which a truck delivers to a materials recovery facility. There, a largely automated system of conveyor belts, screens, magnets, and lasers separates materials so that they can be sold to metal and plastic recyclers and paper mills. Of the 570 recycling facilities in the U.S., 240 now have single-stream operations. While the system isn't perfect, the simplicity of it means households actually recycle more. And the technology is improving. This is how the system works. In the first step, there is generally a tipping floor. Dump trucks deliver mixed recyclables to the facility and pile them on the floor. The driver checks to make sure there are no oversized objects, such as a car engine, that are in the mix. Next is the drum feeder. A mechanical claw grabs a handful of material from the tipping floor and drops it into a spinning drum, which evenly distributes the recyclables onto a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt leads to the initial sorters, workers that extract paper bags, coat hangers, and other items that might jam up the line, as well as anything that won't fit through the sorter. The materials continue down the conveyor belt to a series of offset star-shaped discs called star screens. Originally invented by the Dutch in the 1950s for sorting tulip bulbs, these lift out corrugated cardboard. Smaller items fall through the screens and continue down the conveyor belt. As the material travels away from the star screens, human workers positioned along the line remove smaller contaminants. The materials then continue moving to a set of smaller star screens that lift out different grades of paper, which makes up 2/3 of recycled materials in most recycling centers. Plastic, glass, and aluminum fall through the screens and roll back down on the main belt. A large magnet passes above the conveyor and attracts anything magnetic. A magnetic field induces electrons in aluminum to create a magnetic field of their own, known as an eddy field. By interacting with the machine's magnetic field, the eddy field pushes aluminum off the main conveyor and onto another one. Glass, which is heavier than plastic and aluminum, falls through the star screens and lands in bins below. A separate system of conveyors moves the material to a different area on site where it's ground into coarse sand for shipment to glass recyclers. At this point, only plastic remains. Infrared laser beams shine on the plastic items, and a sensor detects the signatures of different grades of plastic. Strategic puffs of air separate the recyclable and non-recyclable kinds of plastics into different bins. Every 70 seconds, the last machine on the conveyor belt makes a bale of recycled paper, plastic, cardboard, or metal. A single bale of paper is 5 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet and weighs approximately 1 ton. Whatever items are left, jar lids, shoes, Happy Meal toys, they all go to the landfill. And fortunately, that's only about 5% of the materials that are collected. Your challenge has 3 levels. First, you're going to design and build a moving conveyor belt for the manual sorting. It may be a flat conveyor belt or an inclined conveyor belt, but it will need to be moved by hand cranking. Second, you're going to make an inclined sorter that will separate your materials by size or mass. You are limited by the materials that you have available to you, but you want to make sure that you can separate all your materials so that each material goes into a separate space. The last part of your challenge, if you have time, is to make revisions or additions to your design so that you will be able to separate the metals using magnetism. This is quite a challenge, but we know that you can do it. So good luck!